The Galactic Council's mistake. The Galactic Council was a powerful assembly of alien species. They ruled over many star systems, deciding the fate of countless worlds. To them, humanity was just another small, insignificant planet. Earth had little to offer in their eyes. Its resources were nothing compared to the massive interstellar empires. Humans were weak, they thought. Too small, too primitive to challenge them. But they were wrong, and the mistake they made would change everything. It all started when a human dog was killed in cold blood by one of the Council's enforcers. It was not just any dog, but a beloved companion of a high-ranking Earth official. The dog's owner, a dignitary named Senator John Harrington, had been traveling to a peaceful diplomatic meeting with the Council. He was known for his calm and diplomatic nature, always trying to find peaceful solutions to conflicts. But that day, the Council decided to cross a line. The enforcer, an alien named Soreth from the planet Cylon, had no reason to kill the dog. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a misunderstanding. He killed the animal out of pure malice. The Council's decision to overlook the incident and do nothing sent a clear message. They didn't care about Earth or its people. The news of the dog's death spread quickly on Earth. People were shocked. Anger and grief filled the air, but no one had expected what would happen next. The human reaction was swift, but it wasn't the usual response one would expect from a species so far behind the others in technology. The truth was, Earth had a secret. The humans had been quietly building a fleet for years, hiding it from the rest of the galaxy. The Earth government had been preparing for a time when humanity could no longer afford to be overlooked. No one in the Galactic Council knew this. No one suspected that Earth had anything more than outdated ships and primitive weapons. But Senator Harrington knew. He knew that the time had come. He was not just a diplomat. He was a leader, a man who had long suspected that the Council's treatment of Earth would one day lead to a disaster. And now, he could no longer stand by and let his people be disrespected. General Soren, the leader of Earth's military, was quickly summoned. Soren was a man of few words, but he had seen enough of the galaxy's cruelty to know that humanity needed to respond. He gathered his top commanders and outlined a plan that had been prepared in secret for years. Earth's hidden fleet, thousands of ships equipped with advanced stealth technology, was ready. They were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. As General Soren stood in the command center, overlooking the fleet's final preparations, he couldn't help but feel a sense of grim satisfaction. The Galactic Council thought they could kill a human dog and get away with it. They thought humanity was weak and unimportant. But now, Earth's fleet was ready to make them pay for their mistake. The first phase of the plan was set into motion. Earth's fleet began to move, its ships undetected by the Galactic Council's sensors. The fleet's movements were precise and calculated, each ship taking its place in the shadows of space. The Council would never see it coming. Senator Harrington, too, had his part to play. He made an announcement to the people of Earth, calling for unity and resolve. The time has come to show the galaxy that we will not tolerate disrespect. We will fight for our honor, for our dignity, and for those we have lost. His voice echoed through every television screen on Earth, filling humans with a sense of pride and determination. Back in the Galactic Council chambers, life continued as usual. Soreth, the enforcer, had been dismissed from his position. The council members thought the incident was over. They thought they had crushed any hope of retaliation. They didn't even realize the storm that was about to hit them. For now, the council was unaware of the human fleet. But General Soren and Senator Harrington knew what they were about to do would change the course of history forever. Humanity had been pushed too far. No longer would they sit idly by while others decided their fate. The Galactic Council had made a grave mistake, and now Earth was going to make them regret it. You said, the hidden fleet unleashed. The silence of space was broken as Earth's hidden fleet emerged from the shadows. For years, humanity had kept its greatest weapon, a secret. The Galactic Council, with all its power and influence, had no idea that Earth had quietly been preparing for a day like this. General Soren stood at the helm of the flagship, Valiant Horizon. His eyes scanned the vast expanse of stars ahead, feeling a mixture of resolve and anticipation. The fleet was ready, and now it was time to show the galaxy that humanity was not the weak, defenseless species they had been led to believe. For decades, Earth's leaders had quietly siphoned resources into building this fleet. Ships of incredible size, speed, and stealth were constructed under the noses of the Galactic Council. Advanced technology that was far beyond what the Council had ever seen was hidden away, waiting for this moment. The fleet was a ghost, unseen, undetected, and completely unstoppable. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council was still oblivious to the threat approaching them. They were too focused on their own power struggles, too convinced of their superiority. They believed they were in control of the galaxy, that nothing could challenge their rule. But that was about to change. The fleet's first move was small, a quiet shift in position. The ships spread out, moving through the galaxy like shadows, their stealth technology making them nearly invisible. Each ship was equipped with cloaking devices so advanced that even the most powerful sensors of the Council couldn't detect them. The fleet was everywhere and nowhere at once. The Council would never know what hit them. Back on Earth, the world watched in anticipation. Senator Harrington's speech had rallied the people of Earth. They were united in their desire to show the galaxy that they would no longer be pushed around. They had been underestimated for too long, and now they would make their presence known. As the fleet moved deeper into Council space, General Soren watched the first set of maneuvers unfold. His command staff, a group of the brightest and most skilled minds humanity had to offer, worked seamlessly together. The fleet moved with precision, each ship playing its part in a massive, coordinated strike. The plan was simple: cause chaos in the Galactic Council's operations, destabilize their communication networks, and send a message that Earth was not to be trifled with. No one had expected this. The Council had been so certain of their superiority that they didn't believe humanity could have the strength or will to fight back. Now, they were about to see just how wrong they were. In the vast Council capital, the first signs of the fleet's arrival were subtle. Minor glitches in communication, slight disturbances in the data streams, but it was enough to cause a ripple of confusion among the lower-ranking officials. No one could understand what was happening. They checked their systems again and again, but nothing made sense. At first, they wrote it off as a technical error. After all, they were dealing with a galaxy of countless species and technologies. But then the second wave hit, faster, harder, more organized. Suddenly, entire fleets of Council ships were unable to communicate with one another, their sensors blinded by the quiet onslaught of Earth's forces. The Council leaders were still unaware of the threat. They continued their meetings, making decisions about matters that seemed trivial in the face of what was about to unfold. But General Soren knew time was running out. The fleet had to act quickly before the Council figured out what was happening. Across the galaxy, rumors started to spread. Ships were reporting strange anomalies, sightings of cloaked vessels that shouldn't exist. Factions began to question what was going on, but the truth remained elusive. The Council still believed that humanity had no such power. Back in the heart of Earth's military command, the strategy continued to unfold. The hidden fleet was not just a military force. It was a statement. Earth wasn't going to just defend itself. It was going to show the galaxy that humanity had the will and the strength to fight back, no matter the odds. General Soren's fingers hovered over the control panel, preparing for the next phase. The fleet was poised to strike at the heart of the Galactic Council's operations, but he held back. He had learned over the years that patience was a weapon in itself. The Council had made its move by killing the human dog, but now humanity was going to make its move. This was just the beginning. Earth's fleet continued to move forward, closer and closer to the Council's core systems. The time for silence was over. Soon, the galaxy would know exactly who was behind the attack. They would know that Earth had emerged from the shadows, and they would know that humanity was not to be underestimated. General Soren looked up at the stars once more, his face hardening with determination. It was time to show the galaxy what humanity could really do. The first strike was coming, and nothing could stop it. The Galactic Council's days of dominance were numbered. The first strike. The silence of space was shattered by the unmistakable flash of weapons fire. In a single devastating move, the first phase of Earth's retaliation had begun. The Galactic Council, still reeling from the mysterious glitches and disturbances, was caught completely off guard. General Soren's fleet, the hidden armada that had silently moved through the galaxy's darkest corners, had now decloaked in the heart of the Council's territory. The ships, though vastly outnumbered, were far more advanced in their technology. They were invisible to the Council's sensors, and they struck with precision, hitting key targets in the Council's defense systems. It began with a strike on one of the Council's communication hubs, an installation located on a desolate moon in the Outer Rim. The hub was responsible for coordinating fleet movements, sending out orders, and relaying sensitive information across the galaxy. Without it, the Council's fleets were blind. Earth's ships, cloaked and unseen, descended upon the moon without warning, disabling the facility with a series of well-placed attacks. Within moments, the Council's communication network was in disarray. A wave of confusion spread throughout the Galactic Council. Fleet commanders scrambled to respond, but with no clear orders and no working communications, they were forced to act blindly. That was exactly what General Soren wanted. The first strike had thrown the Council into chaos, and now Earth's fleet was poised to strike again. Back on the flagship Valiant Horizon, General Soren stood tall, his gaze fixed on the holographic display in front of him. The mission was going according to plan, but there was no time to celebrate. The Council was powerful, and they would retaliate. But they were vulnerable now. Earth had already shown that they could strike at the heart of the Council's operations, and they would keep doing so until the message was clear. Humanity would no longer be ignored. The next target was one of the Council's most prized space stations, a massive facility used for research and development of new weaponry. This station was the source of many of the Council's most dangerous technologies, and taking it out would cripple their ability to fight back. The fleet moved swiftly, its ships cloaked and undetectable. As they approached the station, the tension among Earth's commanders was palpable. This was going to be a difficult strike, but it was necessary. The attack was swift and brutal. Earth's ships emerged from their cloaking fields just long enough to fire their weapons, targeting the station's weak points. The energy weapons tore through the station's defenses, and within minutes it was in flames. The Council's prized facility was no more. The devastation didn't stop there. As the news of the attack spread across the galaxy, fear and uncertainty began to settle in among the Galactic Council's ranks. Their fleets were scattered, their communication network was in ruins, and their prized technologies were being destroyed one by one. In the Council's high chambers, panic began to set in. The leaders of the Council, who had once laughed at the idea of humanity rising up, now found themselves in a position they had never imagined, defending their empire from a species they had long underestimated. Their arrogance had been their downfall, and now they were facing the consequences. Senator Harrington, still back on Earth, watched the chaos unfold on his communication screens. His heart swelled with a sense of pride and relief. Humanity had finally taken a stand, and the galaxy was noticing. He knew, however, that this was only the beginning. The Council was ruthless, and they would not go down without a fight. But Earth's message had been sent. Humanity was not to be trifled with. The fleet wasn't just destroying key military targets. Every attack, every strike, was a symbol of Earth's defiance, a reminder to the galaxy that humanity was not a species to be overlooked. They would fight for their survival, their honor, and their future. As Earth's ships moved on to their next target, General Soren's voice echoed through the command room. "We've only just begun," he said, his tone steady and confident. "We hit them where it hurts. But now we make sure they never forget what happens when they underestimate humanity. Across the galaxy, the Council scrambled to mount a response. But no matter what they did, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had made a fatal mistake. Earth was no longer the weak, insignificant planet they thought it was. Humanity had awakened, and now the galaxy would have to reckon with its wrath. The first strike had been successful, but General Soren knew there was still much more to do. Earth's fleet would continue to push forward, moving silently through the galaxy, striking when least expected. The Council had no idea what was coming next, and humanity wasn't done yet. You said, the Council strikes back. The Galactic Council, once complacent in their power, had now shifted into high alert. The initial chaos brought about by Earth's fleet had left the galaxy in shock. Planets far and wide had begun to hear of Earth's retaliation, and the once feared Galactic Council, long used to ruling without opposition, now found themselves scrambling to regroup. Within the Council's war rooms, the leaders were furious. Their first reaction had been disbelief, but now it was fear. Earth, the insignificant planet they had once dismissed, was showing a level of military sophistication they hadn't even imagined. General Soren's fleet had crippled key installations, sent shockwaves through the Council's communication systems, and destroyed their most important space stations. For the first time, the Council found themselves on the defensive. Enough of this, Chancellor Varen, the leader of the Council, shouted as he slammed his fist onto the table. These humans think they can disrupt the balance of the galaxy. We will show them what happens when they challenge the Galactic Empire. The room fell silent as the other Council members exchanged uncertain glances. They had never been this vulnerable before. It was clear that Earth's fleet was not some small, weak force. It was an organized, calculated military that could strike anywhere and disappear just as quickly. Varen stood, his mind racing as he worked to form a plan of retaliation. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered. "We're launching a counterattack. And this time, we will not hold back. We will crush these humans before they can do any more damage." Meanwhile, back aboard the Valiant Horizon, General Soren was well aware that the Council wouldn't stay idle for long. He knew retaliation was coming, but he was prepared. The Earth fleet was small in comparison to the vastness of the Galactic Council's military, but they had one advantage: stealth. They could hit fast and retreat before the enemy could react. They didn't need to outnumber the enemy. They just needed to outmaneuver them. "We're not done yet," General Soren muttered under his breath as he studied the latest reports. The fleet had made its mark, but now was the time for caution. The Council would strike back harder, but Earth had proven it could take a punch and keep fighting. The fleet continued to move silently through the galaxy, hitting key infrastructure points and quickly disappearing before the Council could track them. The damage was starting to accumulate. Council ships were getting scattered, their patrols disrupted, and their resources dwindling. But Soren knew it wouldn't last forever. The Council was too powerful to stay down for long. But then, a new message came in, and Soren's heart skipped a beat. It was a warning from Earth's Intelligence Division. The Galactic Council was mobilizing a massive counterattack. They were coming after Earth's fleet with everything they had. "All ships, prepare for action," General Soren ordered, his voice calm but resolute. "The Council is bringing everything they've got, but we'll be ready." Soren's command crew worked tirelessly, relaying orders, analyzing the incoming data, and adjusting their strategy. They had to be ready. The Council had more ships, more weapons, and more resources, but Earth had ingenuity, determination, and a will to survive. And that would be enough. The first signs of the Council's retaliation came swiftly. Massive fleets, hundreds of ships strong, began to move through the galaxy. They were fast, efficient, and merciless. Earth's fleet was outnumbered, and their positions were now known. The Council's fleet was coming, and it was only a matter of time before they would engage. But General Soren wasn't worried. He had seen worse odds and come out on top. The key was to remain unpredictable. The Earth fleet had the element of surprise, and that was something the Council could never replicate. As the Council's ships closed in on Earth's position, Soren issued the command to activate the fleet's cloaking systems. One by one, the Earth ships vanished from the sensors, leaving only a faint ripple in space where they had once been. It was a dangerous game of cat and mouse. Earth's fleet moved through the galaxy, never staying in one place for too long. The Council's ships hunted them relentlessly, but with each passing minute, they were growing more frustrated and desperate. Back at the Council's command center, their leaders were growing anxious. They had expected a quick victory, but instead, Earth's fleet was proving to be elusive, almost impossible to track. They had underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the price. "We need to find them," Varen demanded, his voice tinged with fury. "We cannot allow these humans to continue to strike at us." But every time they thought they were close, the Earth ships would slip away, disappearing into the dark expanse of space. The first major confrontation finally arrived. The Council's fleets, in a fit of rage, surrounded an uninhabited system where Earth's fleet was hiding. They had set a trap, hoping to corner the elusive human armada. But as they moved in, something unexpected happened. General Soren's fleet struck first. Silent, invisible, they appeared out of nowhere, unleashing a wave of destructive fire on the Council ships. It was a small battle, but it was enough to send the message. Earth was not just going to lie down and be defeated. The fleet, once again, slipped away into the darkness, leaving behind nothing but the destruction of a small portion of the Council's forces. For the Galactic Council, it was a wake-up call. The humans had become a force to be reckoned with. They were no longer the weak, defenseless species they once thought them to be. And now, the Council had to deal with the consequences. The Galaxy Watches. The battle between Earth's stealth fleet and the Galactic Council had quickly become the stuff of legends. News of Earth's sudden and relentless retaliation spread like wildfire throughout the galaxy. Worlds that had once seen humanity as insignificant began to look at Earth with a mixture of awe, fear, and curiosity. The Galactic Empire, which had ruled over countless systems with an iron fist, was now reeling from a force it had dismissed for centuries. Senator Harrington, from the safe confines of Earth, watched the reports come in. The Council's attempts to track down and destroy Earth's fleet were failing, and Earth was making a mark on galactic history that would not be easily erased. The empire that had once laughed at humanity's insignificance was now on its heels, unsure of how to proceed. The galaxy, once unified in its perception of humanity as an insignificant species, was now beginning to question that assumption. "General Soren is proving more than capable," Harrington thought aloud as he stood before the holoscreen. "But this isn't just a battle. It's a war for humanity's place in the galaxy." Across the galaxy, various species and factions took notice of the conflict. The once untouchable Galactic Council had always ruled with the belief that no one could challenge their authority. But now, Earth was showing them otherwise. The idea that a single, relatively young species could stand up to such an advanced empire was both inspiring and terrifying. But not everyone was watching with fear or respect. On the fringes of known space, a shadowy group of rebels, previously crushed under the Council's rule, had taken notice. They saw an opportunity, one they had never imagined. If humanity could challenge the Council, then perhaps they could too. "You see it," one of the rebels, a former high-ranking officer in the Council's military, said to his comrades. "This is our chance. The humans are fighting back. If they can do it, so can we." The word spread quickly through underground networks. Various rebel groups began to take up arms, inspired by humanity's courage. They started coordinating strikes against Council-controlled territories, sending messages of defiance that echoed the spirit of Earth's fleet. The ripple effect was growing, and the Galactic Council, still reeling from the unexpected strikes on their infrastructure, was beginning to face pressure on multiple fronts. Back on Earth, The government and military officials knew this wouldn't be easy. General Soren's fleet had proven itself capable, but the Council had vast resources at its disposal. It was only a matter of time before they sent their best forces to wipe out humanity's resistance once and for all. The message from Earth was clear. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival, it was fighting for a place in the galaxy. This wasn't just about retaliation. It was about showing the universe that Earth would no longer be overlooked. The humans who had once been meek and docile were now demanding respect, and they weren't going to stop until they got it. Meanwhile, the Council had regrouped, but they were no closer to finding Earth's fleet. General Soren's strategy had been flawless. Each time the Council closed in, Earth's ships would disappear, striking new targets, sowing chaos and confusion in their wake. They had anticipated every move the Council had made. No matter what the Galactic Empire did, Earth's fleet was always one step ahead. Then, a breakthrough came from Earth's intelligence network. A traitor within the Council's ranks had sent them critical information: the location of the Council's primary warship fleet. The Galactic Council's flagship, the Dominion, was located in a heavily protected sector, surrounded by dozens of smaller fleets. But Earth's fleet had grown stronger, more organized. The time had come to strike at the heart of the Council's power. General Soren sat in the command room aboard the Valiant Horizon, his mind sharp and calculating. He stared at the holographic map that displayed the coordinates of the Dominion. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the chance to cripple the Galactic Council once and for all. The plan was simple but dangerous. Earth's fleet would strike hard and fast, appearing without warning and targeting the Dominion before the Council could react. The goal wasn't to win an all-out war, it was to show the Galactic Council that Earth could not be crushed. They would hit the Dominion, disable its systems, and then vanish again, leaving the Council with yet another failure to explain. "Initiate the attack," General Soren ordered, his voice calm yet filled with a quiet intensity. The fleet moved swiftly, invisible to the Council's scanners, as they approached the Dominion. The silent ships, equipped with the best cloaking technology humanity could muster, closed in on their target. Minutes later, the first volley of attacks hit. The Dominion's shields flickered under the sudden assault, and its communication systems went dark. The ship's commanders were blindsided, unable to react fast enough. The strike was swift, devastating, and over in minutes. As Earth's fleet retreated into the darkness of space, leaving the Dominion disabled and crippled, the message was clear. Humanity had the will and the power to challenge the Galactic Empire, and the Council was no longer invincible. In the wake of the attack, the galaxy began to take notice. The question that once seemed impossible was now being asked by countless civilizations. If humanity could do this, what else could they do? The balance of power was shifting. The Council's reign, once seemingly eternal, was beginning to crack under the pressure of a species it had long underestimated. The galaxy now watched, waiting to see just how far humanity would go to claim its place among the stars. And Earth was just getting started. The Galactic Council's last stand. The Dominion was crippled, but the Galactic Council was far from defeated. The shockwaves of Earth's audacious attack reverberated throughout the galaxy, causing panic among the Council's ranks. The Dominion, their flagship, was their pride and joy, and its sudden incapacitation was a humiliation they couldn't ignore. It was clear now. Earth wasn't just a nuisance. It was a real threat to their empire. Council meetings became tense. Leaders from across the galaxy gathered, their faces filled with a mix of anger and fear. Chancellor Varen, still reeling from the damage to their fleet, stood before the Council chambers, his eyes burning with frustration. "We cannot allow this to continue," Varen said, his voice cold and authoritative. "These humans have shown that they are capable of striking at the heart of our power. They have humiliated us. We will crush them, and we will do it quickly." His words were met with murmurs of agreement, but deep down, even the staunchest supporters of the Galactic Council were beginning to question their ability to defeat Earth. General Soren's fleet had outmaneuvered them at every turn, and now the galaxy was beginning to take notice of Earth's defiance. But Varen was determined. He ordered the full mobilization of the Council's remaining fleets, gathering the most advanced warships from across the galaxy. This would be their final attempt to destroy humanity, a battle that would decide the fate of both the Galactic Council and Earth. The Council's new fleet was a formidable force, hundreds of ships strong, each one bristling with weapons and shields designed to wipe out any opposition. It was their best and final effort, the culmination of decades of control, and they would stop at nothing to end Earth's challenge. Meanwhile, back on Earth, General Soren prepared his fleet for the inevitable confrontation. He knew that the Galactic Council wouldn't let their pride go unchallenged for long. The fleet had already suffered heavy casualties in the previous attacks, but Earth's forces were far from broken. They had learned from every engagement, and each battle had made them stronger, smarter, and more determined. "We need to make this count," General Soren said as he addressed his officers. "The Council is coming with everything they have. We can't afford any mistakes. Our advantage is still our stealth, our unpredictability. We will hit them hard, strike deep, and then vanish before they know what happened." The stakes were higher than ever before. The battle ahead would determine the future of both humanity and the Galactic Empire. Earth's fleet had the advantage of stealth and surprise, but the Council's new fleet was an overwhelming force, capable of tearing through planets if they so desired. Both sides knew that one mistake could result in total annihilation. The first sign of the Council's massive fleet appeared on Earth's radar. Hundreds of ships, moving in perfect formation, their weapons primed. General Soren's fleet watched from a distance, cloaked and ready. This was it, the final showdown. "We move out now," Soren ordered. "Prepare to engage." The Earth fleet moved into position, silently advancing towards the massive Council fleet. There was no room for error. The humans had one chance to make an impact before the overwhelming power of the Council's ships could corner them. As the two fleets drew closer, the tension in the air was palpable. Earth's ships, invisible to the Council's sensors, positioned themselves in the shadow of the giant warships that were heading straight for Earth's home system. The Council had no idea what was coming for them. Then, in a flash, the first salvo struck. Earth's fleet, emerging from the shadows, unleashed a devastating series of missile strikes, targeting the weakest points in the Council's ships. The missiles hit with surgical precision, disabling weapon systems and crippling shields. But this time, the Council wasn't caught off guard. Their ships retaliated quickly, releasing countermeasures and opening fire. The battle that followed was chaos. The air was filled with the roar of weapons and the sound of explosions as both fleets clashed. Earth's ships darted in and out of the fray, using their cloaking technology to strike and disappear before the Council could retaliate. Despite their advanced technology, the Council's ships were no match for Earth's guerrilla tactics. Every strike by the human fleet hit hard, leaving massive holes in the Council's ships, their shields flickering and failing. The Council's warships, once seen as invincible, were now faltering under the pressure. General Soren watched the battle unfold with a calm determination. His fleet wasn't as large as the Council's, but it was faster, more adaptable, and more relentless. They were fighting for their future, and every strike was a message to the galaxy. Humanity would not be erased. As the battle raged on, the Council's fleet began to retreat. Their once unified formation fractured as the damage mounted. It was clear that the tide of the battle was turning in humanity's favor. But just as victory seemed within reach, a new threat emerged. The Galactic Council had one last card to play. A massive weapon hidden within their flagship, the Dominion. The Dominion, though damaged, was still operational, and within it lay the Council's most terrifying weapon, an ancient device capable of destroying entire planets. "We need to stop them before they activate that weapon," General Soren muttered. "If they use it, Earth's fight will be over." The final moments of the battle were fast approaching, and General Sorin knew that he had one chance to end the war once and for all. With the Council's fleet in disarray, Earth's ships closed in on the Dominion, intent on disabling the weapon before it could be fired. The fate of the galaxy and humanity hung in the balance. The battle was far from over, but General Sorin was determined to finish what they had started. The Galactic Empire would not win this war. Earth would not fall. The final victory. The Dominion loomed large on the horizon, battered but not broken. Earth's fleet had inflicted heavy damage on the Galactic Council's forces, but now a new threat arose. The weapon inside the Dominion that could erase humanity from existence with a single shot. The tension was unbearable. General Sorin and his fleet had fought valiantly, but time was running out. The weapon was their last obstacle, and if it was fired, it could obliterate everything they had fought for. With every second that passed, the stakes grew higher. Earth's fleet, though battle-worn, was still moving swiftly, taking advantage of their stealth technology to avoid being spotted. The Council's flagship, the Dominion, was heavily guarded, but General Sorin knew that if they didn't act quickly, all would be lost. "We're almost there," Sorin muttered to himself as he watched the fleet's holomap. His fingers tightened on the controls, his focus laser-sharp. "Once we get close, we take out the weapon, no matter the cost." The Dominion was a behemoth, its massive hull pocked with holes from previous strikes. Yet within it, the ultimate weapon remained hidden. The Council's final, desperate move was to use this weapon to turn the tide of the war in their favor. But Earth's fleet had a different idea. With precise coordination, Earth's ships moved into position, silently navigating through the debris field left by the previous battle. They had no room for error. The slightest miscalculation could give the Dominion's defense systems the advantage, and they would be right back where they started, fighting an unwinnable battle. Suddenly, the alert flashed across Sorin's console. Weapon detected. The Council had activated the device. "Now," General Sorin barked. "Target the weapon's location." As Earth's fleet closed in on the Dominion, the Council's last-ditch defense mechanism activated. Swarming drones, automatic turrets, and energy shields designed to block anything that came too close. But Earth's ships were faster, more agile, and had been designed specifically to handle these situations. They danced around the Council's defenses with precision, striking where the enemy wasn't expecting. A massive explosion shook the Dominion as one of Earth's ships successfully hit a weak point in the defense grid, leaving a gap large enough for the fleet to penetrate. "Direct hit to the core system," one of Sorin's officers reported. "The weapon is unstable." Sorin's heart raced. This was it, the final push. He gave the order to focus everything on the weapon. Earth's fleet swarmed the Dominion, unleashing everything they had. Missiles, plasma shots, and laser beams pummeled the Council's flagship, tearing through its hull. The Dominion began to shudder under the onslaught, its massive frame groaning under the pressure. The weapon, once seen as the Council's ultimate triumph, was now its downfall. Within minutes, the unthinkable happened. The Dominion's main reactor exploded in a blinding flash of light. The force of the explosion sent shockwaves through space, and the Dominion was no more. General Sorin watched in stunned silence as the massive warship disintegrated, its final breath a violent burst of energy that echoed across the galaxy. The weapon that had been their greatest threat was no longer a danger. Earth's fleet had done it. They had struck a devastating blow to the Galactic Council's power, and now they were free. As the remnants of the Dominion drifted in space, General Sorin allowed himself a brief moment of victory. Humanity had proven its strength, its resilience, and its ability to fight back against an empire that thought itself unbeatable. "We did it," Sorin whispered, his voice filled with quiet pride. "The galaxy will never forget this." Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. The Galactic Council had fallen. Humanity had won. The once distant threat had been vanquished, and with it, Earth's place among the stars had been secured. The Council had underestimated humanity from the start, but now they knew the truth. Humanity was not a species to be ignored or crushed. They were a force to be reckoned with. The victory was not just a triumph of technology or tactics. It was a message to the entire galaxy. Humanity would no longer live in the shadows. They had fought for their place, and they had earned it. As the galaxy looked on, the legend of Earth's courage, strength, and defiance spread. Species that had once seen humans as weak now viewed them with respect and caution. The Galactic Empire's days of domination were over, and a new era had begun. And for General Soren, there was only one thought in his mind. This was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and humanity had only begun to explore its potential. Humanity's wrath had been unleashed, and the galaxy would never be the same.